It's a common scenario, it's a common question, it's a common temptation. My credit card debt has gotten out of hand and I need to reset my finances. Should I take some money out of my retirement portfolio, pay off this credit card debt? How do you answer it? Is that something you should do? I got a real life planning scenario, that and more coming up. My wife of just about 20 years, my wife's in the dental industry. She's a dental assistant. Didn't want to be a dentist, didn't want to go to school for that long, and didn't want to be a hygienist because she said you just do the same thing on every single patient. She wanted a little more variety. So she works in a pediatric office. She loves kids, but as an assistant, she helps the dentist with extracting teeth and doing all sorts of, I don't know, in her world, sort of exciting things. But I kind of tease her. She fills cavities. And yes, a decent amount of the time she's filling cavities. She's doing a lot of other things too, but she fills cavities. And I've talked to her about this before. I've shared this analogy before. You may remember me saying it for if you're a daily watcher. But when she's filling a toddler's or a child's cavity that they got in her tooth, is she fixing the problem? No, typically not, right? You have a decaying hole in your tooth, and if you don't do anything about it, that decay is going to continue to grow. It's going to make it worse, be very painful. And yes, it feels like at the time, if I fill the cavity, I've fixed the problem. No, you've just masked over the symptom, right? The root underlying cause or problem for many of the kids at least is not brushing your teeth, maybe before you go to bed or first thing in the morning, not flossing. It's other sort of habitual changes that are actually, that's the root and that's the real solve. This is similar to dealing with credit card debt. A credit card debt that feels like it's gotten out of hand, or really any debt, but we can focus on credit cards often because that feels like it's this decaying hole in your finances. And if you don't do something about it, that decay is just going to continue to grow. It's going to be painful. And so there's this temptation to say when you have that kind of overwhelming, that credit card debt that you just, I got to fill in this hole. Let me take some of my retirement dollars and fix it. Enter question from Paula, just recently asked, she sent in. I have a 401k where my employer contributions are the traditional 401k. So yep, the employer match or employer contributions, those are pre-tax, so traditional. And my contributions are Roth 401k. Love it. I have over 20 grand in credit card debt. Ooh, I don't love that. And need to pay it off and get a reset in my finances. This is not my husband's debt. It's my debt. I am highly considering taking the taxable portion of my 401k to pay this off. My next plan is to then increase what I can contribute into the 401k after our emergency fund is increased. I'm 62 years old. Total amount of my 401k is about 54 grand. I know there's more to this. Should you do this? Should you do this? Again, this feels like, yep, my problem is this credit card debt. I've got to fix the problem. Let me just get some cash and I'll plug the hole. Before you do this, you've got to do three things. Okay, you've got to do three things. And the first is you need to consider all of your options. And the reason why I would start with that is because this one of let me just take money out of my 401k or out of my retirement and I'll pay this off. That one tends to feel like the easy button. And you know there's consequences, but it feels like it's the one that with just a quick decision, I can plug my nose and I can be out from under this. And I want you first to look at all of your other options. Look at all of the options. This will expand your thinking, and so that when you go on to the next two steps, step 2 and 3, you don't have tunnel vision and just kind of approach those different steps with, well, how do I justify taking this money out of my retirement and paying this stuff off? So, and I mean, there's no bad ideas. Explore everything. Dave Ramsey, as you know, would say you just need to sell everything, pay off the debt. That's it. It's austerity. But I would lay all options out there on the table objectively. And yes, taking dollars out of your 401k is one of them. Taking the pre-tax dollars out, so you're age 62, assuming that you're allowed to take an in-service or even a hardship withdrawal, possibly you could get access to those dollars. But I mean, do you have anything in savings? Are there assets you could sell? Have you looked at your budget? What other options? Like, what's your current trajectory for paying this off? Is there anything in your cash flow that's going to change in the near future? What are all of your options? Do you have a home equity line of credit? I'm not recommending this. I'm just What are all of your options? That's step one. Hopefully you can make a list, 5, 6, 7, 8 things, right? And you've got a broad list of what are all your options. Second, I then want you to calculate what the trade-off, what the cost, what the impact will be of each of those options, and specifically this one, because it seems like, Paula, you might be stepping right into the trap that we see a lot of people make, and that is, I've got 20 grand of credit card debt, I've got 20 grand of pre-tax money in my 401k, these equal, I'll take that 20 grand out and I'll pay this off and I'm good, and not realize the tax consequence, right? Then not realize that, well, in order to get my hands on 20 grand to pay down or pay off this credit card debt, I have to take out, 27 grand or something like that. I'm just pulling a number out of thin air, but I've got to pull out more, maybe 30 grand and pay the taxes, and then I'm left with 20 that I can pay it off. Also with taxes at your situation, like, are there tax credits that you would be, or other tax deductions? What other impact would there be if you drew 30 grand out in order to have 20 net after tax to pay down on this credit card debt? What's the impact of this from a tax standpoint? Also from a retirement standpoint. If you've got 54,000 inside your 401k, and let's say you take 30 grand out, what does that leave you with for your retirement future, right? Input that into your financial plan and see, well, what's the impact? What is the impact of making this choice or making any one of these choices? If you've got a list of 5, 6, 7, 8 items, things that you could do, maybe they don't all each fully solve, the cavity here, but maybe they partially do. Well, what's the impact? It's possible, being objective and sort of thinking through this from a kind of broad perspective, you might be able to find options that maybe aren't as immediate. They're not as quick fixy, but have a less of an impact, make less of an impact, a negative impact on your overall financial plan and financial life. And I'd want you to have that clarity up front before you jump into this, what could be the easy button, let me cash in my retirement and pay off this credit card debt. And then finally, before you decide on any of those, any of those choices, especially the one where you say, I'm going to, draw some dollars out of my retirement. Before you do that, you've got to handle step number 3, and that is to fix the problem. To fix the problem. How did the credit card debt get started in the first place? And how did it then get out of hand? It's very possible it could be a medical expense, it could be an interruption in income, it could be some other issues. Oftentimes, those, when you just continue to peer through and say, well, but why this? And then, but why that? And then what led to this? Often it's a breakdown in the cash flow operating system. The cash flow operating system. So often it feels like, well, if I just had more income, I wouldn't have the problem. And yeah, maybe, but so often it's your cash flow operating system. And so do you have a cash flow operating system? And I know that sounds super, super geeky, but the 3 bank account system, that's the cash flow operating system that we recommend, because it is the credit card avoidance and credit card prevention system. It is. So those 3 bank accounts, you're looking at your immediate spending, bank account number 1, that's your checking account where you've got monthly income and monthly expenses, and you map all of that out. Some people want to call that a budget, and that's fine. That sounds super negative, but you take a look at all of your monthly income and all of your monthly expenses. You look at, how many of those are fixed expenses, happen every month, they're the exact same amount. How many are variable, which means they happen every month, but the amount, you've got some discretion over how much you spend at the grocery store or how often you go out to eat, those sort of things. Fill it all out, okay? That's bank account number 1. And if you just do that, likely you're setting yourself up for more credit card debt out there in the future. Why? Because you've got to address bank account number 2. Bank account number 2 are all of the non-monthly expenses. Oftentimes, budgeting systems, they just sort of ignore these. And maybe you, as you've managed your finances, you've just sort of ignored these and said, well, I've got a little cushion in that immediate spending in my checking account, and so that will cover these sorts of things. No. You need to take an honest look at what are all of your non-monthly expenses. Things like, vacations or Christmas or car repairs, deductibles, those sorts of things. Things that are likely going to happen, and when they do come up, when they do occur, financially, are you ready? Do you have the money set aside? And so it's between bank account number 1 and bank account number 2. That's where you look and say, well, does that fit within my income? is, do I have all of the income to cover my monthly expenses, as well as to set the right amount aside to be able to handle the known upcoming or non-monthly expenses? But that's not it either. That's not sufficient. You mentioned this in your question. Bank account number 3 is your emergency spending, because there's, things are going to come up out of the blue. Unexpected things will happen. And so ideally, you want an 85% spending plan, which means 85% of your take-home income covers bucket 1 and number 2, and then 15% can go towards your goals. And if you don't have a fully funded emergency fund, then 15% can start by going into that emergency fund and fill that up so that you've got some cushion and some moat around your financial house, so that if something comes up that's unexpected, you can handle it and not have to reach for a credit card. So, should you take money out of your 401k and pay off this credit card debt? I hope not. I hope you will explore options and find another 1 or 2 that you can piece together that would work, because I think when you look at the impact of withdrawing the dollars out of your 401k, it's going to make a significant impact on your taxes and your retirement. And I want you to build out that 3 bank account cash flow management system so that you can avoid credit card debt, and whatever option you implement, you can then prevent getting back into this situation again. My hope would be, my vision would be, could you structure things, and this is a little bit Dave Ramsey-esque, could you structure things within your cash flow operating system to find $750 or $1,000 a month? And I mean, that'd be really tightening the belt. And that's the money that you could apply towards this credit card debt and get out from under the credit card debt within 24 to 36 months. That would mean you're 62 right now. That would mean you are credit card free by age 65. By the time maybe you're considering retiring, you'd be eligible for Medicare. You'd be credit card debt free by age 65, and you will have reduced and managed your lifestyle such that you need less to live on, which would help your retirement even more. And of course, you never took the dollars out of your retirement plan anyway, so your retirement is in a stronger position anyway. That'd be my vision. Work with your certified financial planner on that. Go through those 3 options, and most importantly, get on that credit card prevention and credit card avoidance process, that cash flow operating system. Work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.